What's going on, Jets fans? It's your boy DT sitting in the airport ready to board my flight back home, and I see a lot on my timeline from former NFL quarterbacks voicing their opinions about the Jets' latest loss, 13-11 to the Denver Broncos. Those two quarterbacks are Dan Orlovsky of ESPN and Kurt Warner of NFL Network. First, we'll start off with Dan Orlovsky, the one I disagree with the most. He's saying that Garrett Wilson's career is basically being wasted here in New York, and that there's no plan to basically use him to his best abilities, and that they should trade everybody of value, that the Jets are doing the rebuild from the outside in, which is the complete opposite of what you should be doing. So several things kind of to just rebuttal Dan's point there. One, Garrett Wilson entering week 6 was on pace for his best career season in terms of catch rate, target percentage, yardage, touchdowns. He was on pace for the best statistical season that he's had in his 4 years as a New York Jet. So to say that they're not using him right or that he's being wasted here is completely I guess tone deaf or wrong. Like it just didn't make any sense when he said it to me. If you want to say that they didn't use him properly in this last game, yeah, absolutely. There was multiple opportunities to get him the ball where Fields held on to it too long and didn't throw, but it just felt misguided from somebody like Dan to say that they just are wasting Garrett Wilson's talent. So that was the first part I disagreed with. The second part, the rebuild part, obviously they paid Sauce and Garrett in the offseason, but they also have 3 offensive linemen on rookie deals. They have a guy in the last year of his deal who they paid in free agency. The past regime really paid in free agency, and then they have a free agent on a 1-year deal of their own. So they're doing the most they can at the offensive line position to start in the trenches. We have 2 first-round contracts on the defensive line. We have Quinnen, obviously. They went out and added more bodies to the interior of the defensive line. So I think Muji and Glenn are doing well in terms of rebuilding from the inside out. So I thought that was a little, again, misguided by Dan there. So those are my 2 rebuttals for him. And then in terms of Kurt Warner, what he was saying about the game was that it came down to 3 quick out routes that Justin Fields missed, and I think that that's being a little bit nice, to put it bluntly, toward the quarterback on Sunday for his performance. I felt like there was more than 3 missed opportunities. There was a ton of flats that he could have gotten to as a second or third read. Just check the ball down and allow your guy to get 4 or 5 yards and get a more manageable 3rd down or 4th down situation. What you can't do is hold on to the ball for 5 seconds and get sacked on 3rd down and make your 4th down that much harder and settle for a punt because you are no longer analytically inclined to go for it. So definitely thought Kurt was a little bit wrong with his full assessment of Justin Fields. He certainly said there was throws that Fields missed, and I agree with that. But the part I do agree with Kurt Warner is that it was a lot of the coaching not asking him to do a ton of things that I think Justin Fields excels at, right? The RPO stuff, the quick reads, the getting the ball out on quicker. I feel like they just didn't have enough situations for him to do that, so that when he was tasked with throwing early, it wasn't going to work, and he was pretty much shot from a confidence perspective. So if there's one thing we know about Justin Fields, he has to play with confidence. You have to get him going early, and you really can't afford to have him playing with no confidence from behind. And this was an opportunity to, Justin Fields, we know the stat about if defenses let up 21 points and they only let up 13. So this was the game for Justin Fields to, we would have been on the right side of history for this one in terms of that stat. So the defense did everything they could, and Justin Fields just basically squandered the opportunity. But I do believe there was a lot of coaching mistakes, a lot of coaching scared. And if you're not going to coach to the best of your players' abilities, you're not putting them in the best position to win. So just my thoughts on the 2 quarterbacks, talking about our current quarterback. In terms of AG and his quotes, I disagree that he should have been thinking to go to Tyrod in that game to create a spark, and then you can easily flip back to Justin to go into Carolina with and continue that. Justin gives us the best opportunity to win, whether that's actually true or not. But now you have players talking to SNY saying that they feel Terod is the best for this team, and that's going to create more friction for the locker room than anything else. So AG's kind of towing a fine line here with the locker room dealing with this quarterback situation, but wanted to give my thoughts on Dan and Kurt's takes on Justin Fields. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. I'm DT, and I'll catch you next time.